Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today, we're going to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 14. Looks like no breaks, thankfully, so far. And I believe we're getting another 10 episodes at the very least. So we start off with Mei and or Yui, maybe? It's very interesting how they pronounce it in Japanese. But it's spelled Ui. Mei quickly figures out the technique that, once you're trapped and in the grave, you have about 3 seconds to get out of there before it kills you. So she uses a crow to test this theory, and then she is using her younger brother and says, "Will you die for me?" Which is kind of creepy. But apparently we learn that this creates a pact as well, creating, basically breaking the limit of cursed energy. And this cursed spirit goes after whatever has the highest amount, so she suppresses her cursed energy. He blasts out his. He does get put in a coffin, and within, I would say about a second, because it's 1, 2, 3. The coffin is 1, the gravestone is 2, and then 3 is death. She cuts the cursed spirit's hands off fairly quickly. Ends up bashing it through with a crow. And the reason she can do that is because, you think a crow is going to have very limited cursed energy, but when you make a pact with the crow and the crow would die for her, then it allows that limit to be broken. And then, she can essentially one-shot anybody, and apparently the only person that can actually dodge that attack is Gojo. And she, with that attack, one-shots the cursed spirit. And it's, explained right there. And that's essentially the end of her battle. This guy right here is the head of the Zenin family. What is his name? Nahito, I believe it is. I could be mispronouncing that. But apparently he is drunk. So, yeah. We all know that Maki Zenin, I believe, is her first name there. Some sort of family issue. We already know that there's some family issues. We've heard some of it last season, I believe, where she was a twin, where she cannot manipulate cursed energy, but she's very physically strong, and then her sister can manipulate cursed energy, but isn't physically strong. So twins are typically weak in this clan that they have. We haven't really gotten a whole lot of information about clans. We run into this cute little octopus dude who gets attacked fairly easily. We learn that it is just a cursed womb. And then, under high strain, thinking, how dare these people kill Hanabi, it is able to develop into a kraken-looking octopus monster, Davy Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean looking thing. Controls water. That's all you need to know. So it seems like that Geto there chose a lot of elementals. So, Gojo's got the Jogo has the fire, rather. Hanabi had earth. This guy has water. Mahito just kind of generally manipulates curses in general, but no air element yet. Maybe one of these people will be able to control air. But this guy controls frame rates, which is pretty cool. And essentially, if you do not move when he touches you within a certain period of time, it freezes you for a second. So it's not like it's like continuously freezing you forever. It's literally just 1 second that it freezes you. And they're all going at him pretty hard, not making too much leeway. But then this is where it explains he splits 1 second into 24 frames. He was explaining 4K resolution, 60 frames a second. Nobito, there we go. Naobito? I'm going to say Naobito. Naobito. Yeah, we'll go with that. And it allows them to freeze the targets. And this is kind of just a brief explanation of it. However, the domain is released. And we finally find that beach that they were sitting on before, all the curses and everybody. So apparently the beach they were hanging out on, enjoying life, was, I believe it is Drogon, I think is the curse's name. He does say his name in this episode as well. He is able to do it. So apparently he is not able to, get a full domain. It is kind of similar to a simple domain. The user does not activate their own domain, but it is able to, counter the curse energy that's coming at him. He thinks absolutely nothing of Maki at this point in time. He's like 70% mustache man, 30% man on the suit. We're going to ignore Maki for a couple minutes because she is the weakest. The chances of her actually hurting me, very, very limited. So he uses Death Swarm, beats the crap out of Nanemi, beats the crap out of the Misters Zenin, and he essentially Octo Bitch. I thought that was pretty funny. She called him that. Broke her spear. But Megume shows up. And here is this crazy, 3 nunchuck weapon. I know there's an actual name for it. I cannot remember the actual name for this weapon. But he is using his domain to cancel out one-shot. So essentially, he has a domain where it essentially one-shots anybody. These fish come flying at you. Second they touch you, they're killing you. Under normal circumstances. Obviously, we have some higher grade sorcerers here, so they're not going to one-shot them instantly, but they're definitely getting injured. So he's able to release his domain. He's doing pretty good. Nanemi shows up to protect him. So basically the goal here is, okay, those two are going to fight and kill the curse, exercise the curse, and then I am going to defend you from the creatures while you are holding the domain in order to, kill this thing. That is ultimately the goal. But we learn that is actually not the goal. Zenin also lost one of his arms. Neobito, we'll say. He ends up losing one of his arms as well. We learn that Megume actually can put a small hole to get in and out of the domain, because he broke in. Getting into a domain is actually very easy. We learned that initially when Itadori fought Mahito, which does not show up in this episode if you were looking for him. Both of them don't. But his plan is to get everybody out besides him. And the reason is they need to free Gojo, because Gojo can just wreck everybody the second he's free, And then he's got help from other sorcerers. So he's like, I'm not going to throw my life away. I have no intention of doing so. And that's his goal, to get everybody out except him, because obviously he has to stay behind to hold it open. However, something interesting happens. Let's play it. Who's that guy? Who is that guy? That is Megume's father. I know I had his name wrong in the past, but Fujiguro, we'll call him Mr. Fujiguro, shows up, and then the episode ends. And I was very annoyed, because we know how OP this guy is. He successfully managed to kill Gojo. Reckon Gojo wasn't at full power at the time, but he still had the capability to do it, and he did it. So I have a feeling he's going to come in here and just absolutely wreck this cursed spirit, because he has a heavenly pact. So that is going to be interesting to see, episode 15. And I am very, very annoyed that I have to wait another week to see that, because that is going to be really interesting. So next episode is called Fluctuations Part 2. So my guess is Octopus Bitch, he's going to get wrecked. That's my guess. He's going to get killed very, very quickly, and then we're going to have a little heart-to-heart probably with Megume and his father, because he never actually got to meet his dad, so that'll be nice to see. We're probably going to see, it's going to be Yu, or Ui, and Mei, and it sounds like Itadori is back up. Sukuna's not going to let his host die. That's not going to happen. He wants to eventually take over Itadori's body, so of course he's not going to let his vessel die. My guess is all three of them are going to be probably up against Mahito and Jogo, because we have not seen those two at all this episode, so that would make sense, with kind of a 3 against 2 type scenario. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, or maybe, it's just Itadori versus Mahito, and then Mei is going after Jogo, or something along those lines, because it sounds like they're interacting with each other which leads me to believe that, Geto isn't going to have no contingency plan. He's going to be like, all right, look, she got to me. I need one of you more powerful curses to come save me. So Gojo fully gets sealed. That's my best guess what's going to happen next episode. Rating, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Only complaint is it wasn't longer. That is the only reason I am not giving it a perfect 10 out of 10. This is definitely worth a rewatch. I know I rarely give 10 out of 10s, because how often do you find something that is a perfect 10 out of 10? But maybe even a 9.5 out of 10. It's close. It's close, but it's just not quite there. It was really cool to see all of the fighting. Really cool to see the techniques explained. Kind of introduced to new characters, or more so explaining what their abilities are. And I just enjoyed the episode, and I hope you did too. Other than that, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. Let me know what you want to see for future videos as well. Stay tuned. You're going to be getting Dr. Stone, a review tomorrow, and then you got the shorter video of Spy Family on Saturday. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.